So let me turn your attention to WWE since, we're always just kind of being accused of being AEW haters. You know me, I love a good WWE story. I'm going to give you an update on LA Knight.
Yeah.
I'm going to just politely say yes. I'm not going to say that over exaggerated word you just said. I'm just going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
You like that? You like the yeah?
Yeah. I do.
You sound like Stone Cold Steve Austin
I
when you
know.
say
I
that.
can't do it. I tried. I can't do it.
The last time we talked about LA Knight was when Kevin Nash was in the news and he was going back and forth with fans about LA Knight's a ripoff of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then LA Knight had a little retort on a live SmackDown where he insulted a 20-plus-year-old promo of Kevin Nash where Kevin Nash used, I believe, adjective wrong in a sentence. So inside, but he used it. He did it live on television. Since then, LA Knight on the rise. I mean, you can't deny it. I mean, fans clamoring for him, huge pops. He's picking up steam every single week. He's over like Rover, as they say, right?
Sure.
But in the last week, an even bigger wrinkle has picked up. And I don't know if you've seen this last thing. Huge story popping up. I'm going to pull it up here in just a minute. But have you been following the trajectory of Mr. I guess LA is what you would call him?
I want to say yeah, but I have to say no. I haven't.
Well, this was the huge story coming out last week. LA Knight to challenge Roman Reigns at WWE Crown Jewel. So that's the big Saudi, that used to be called pay-per-view. Now it's called premium live event, right?
Oh. Excuse me. This is the one where a lot of the boys don't want to go to, correct? I did read.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I read something about
I'd be in that class if I were them.
Okay.
Is this too fast to be doing this?
What, putting him over?
If he's growing in popularity, right? And it's organic and the fans want him and they're desperately clamoring for this guy to be the next megastar. If Roman Reigns is knocking on the door of this historic title reign and everybody believes it's going in that direction of Roman Reigns and The Rock, is it a quick decision to put him with Roman Reigns and essentially possibly feed him to Roman that quick?
Are we 100% sure that that's what's going to happen?
I just can't see that. I just can't see him beating Roman.
Is it possible that there's a swerve coming up and LA Knight goes over? If that's the case, I can see it. It's what the fans want initially. I don't know. If they're doing it to let him job, I think he'll lose a little bit of steam, but I still think the fans are going to love him, whether he wins or loses. I think it would be a huge pop if he beat him.
Right. Yes.
I think the place would go ape shit if he beat him. But is he really going to lose all of his steam by one title loss? I don't think so. It doesn't change his character or the way that he interacts with the other, superstars. He's still going to be the same character. He's going to have a loss under his belt, but I don't think he's going to lose momentum. I think most fans realize that it's a work and there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser.
Mm.
The smart ones do anyway. You still have that little, it's real to me, damn it. You still have those guys that are out there. But as a fan, if I'm watching and my favorite loses, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to support them anymore, or I'm not going to, like what they're doing or appreciate the character work. I would feel the same way. So I think that for me, if they were to put him in that predicament, I think he should go over. I don't think anybody would expect it. And I think that place would erupt.
Definitely wouldn't expect it. But now, back in the day, you put him on the house show loop, right? And you try out the match, see if it works.
Mm,
You're not doing that anymore.
no.
That's a thing of the past. Is this possibly a test to see if LA Knight can hang with Roman Reigns in a main event? And we see, a screw job finish. We just see interference. We see, the bloodline involved. He had a great promo with Paul Heyman last week on SmackDown. And I would suggest that you do check that out because it was a great, Paul Heyman playing the Weaselly,
Paul
shyster
Heyman?
heel. Yeah, he was Paul Heyman, looking in a mirror essentially.
No.
But it was a great segment, and it kind of gave him the rub of playing with the big dogs. No pun intended to Roman,
Mm,
but they get their way out of it by having a little bit of a fuck finish, if you will. Sorry, drop the F bomb, but that's what it is,
right.
and they get around it. But this is also a way possibly too for the office to see, all right, he can handle this on a big stage.
I mean, I guess it could be, the element of surprise is kind of like if you do that house show loop and people see it nowadays with social media, the footage gets out. And you don't have to be, back in the day you had to be in the arena to see something, or you saw a still picture, right? In today's technology and stuff, people have their phones, they're recording everything.
Yeah.
So that those, and you know how easy it is for somebody to post something online and show what happened 3,000 miles from where you live, right? So if they do this on the loop, people already see it, unless they come up with something super duper fresh for the pay-per-view. So maybe they're saving it not so much as a surprise, because we know, who's going to work together, but you don't know how they're going to work together. As far as a test run, I mean, they have Roman Reigns, who has been their top guy, which seems like forever now. He's just been in that spotlight for years, right? Then you have this guy who kind of reminds me of like a John Cena, in the fact that his star just keeps rising. And I feel like that's what happened with John. We saw John, and then they just kept using him and using him and using him. And, he started to become really over, and he got in that top spot. So they're probably grooming him to one day fill Roman's shoes. Is it that time yet?
Right.
I don't think it is. I could be 100% wrong, but I do know that if they did put the belt on him, the people would be behind it 100%, and that place would go nuts. Absolutely nuts, because he's so over at this point. And does Roman need the belt?
I think he does.
Why do you think he does?
I think it fits that character, that he has, that tribal chief. I think the belt signifies the top dog. So as long as that character as the tribal chief is still around, he needs the belt. Unfortunately, he's a part-time player, so he's just going to be gone a lot of times. So unless they just kill that character and he's off TV for 6 months to a year, that's the only way that he's going to have that belt taken off of him.
I don't like part-timers having belts.
And it's crazy to consider him that, after all. He's been around for about 10 years, but I wouldn't consider him to be, that much of an elder statesman where he would be in that part-time category now, but he is.
Is it because of his health?
I don't know. I think he's just hit that status in the company that
I don't like that. I like champions defending their belts every weekend. I don't like I'll see you in 4 weeks. I'll see you in 2 months. I don't like that.
Gets a huge reaction whenever he comes back. I want to point out too, they have given LA Knight the John Cena rub, because he has been teaming with John Cena on TV, and John Cena has given him the stamp of approval. So that kind of like gave him the uber baby face, like, okay, if there were any doubters, no, like him, because John Cena went from, if you remember, in the mid-2000s, it was not cool to like John Cena. No. It was cool to boo John Cena.
Right.
I mean, I can remember sitting in those stands, and if you wanted to cheer John Cena, you were doing this, because you didn't know want to get booed out of the building yourself.
He always had the little kids cheering for him. I remember back in the day.
Little kids and the girls.
And then the adults, like especially the guys, were like, "You suck," you know. I saw it firsthand at One Night Stand.
Oh my gosh,
the ECW crowd totally annihilated him. But yeah, I kind of feel like, he's being groomed, LA Knight, to be in that top position one day. But how soon is it going to be? Like we said before, he's been around the business for a long time, but he hasn't been in WWE for a long time. So how long till he's ready to get that top spot?
I don't know. So it could be. I just think it's a little premature, but it could be them just trying it out to see if it works. There's that guy who they signed with the blonde hair who's kind of an afterthought right now, it seems, but maybe they're just trying to finish the story.
It's kind of rough when you have like a huge pay-per-view and you're trying something, you're trying something out. You know what I mean? Like that's like a hit or miss kind of thing. Why would you do that on a huge show?
That's what I didn't get.
I don't know. They have something up their sleeves,
Tag match. He pins him in a tag match.
Yeah. Maybe it's like he's not going to win clean. Like you said, there's going to be run-ins from the bloodline, and that keeps him kind of fresh because, it wasn't like a one-on-one. Maybe he gets attacked or something. There's interference. That you could do so many things with this. But I would love it if they put him over. Because I just think the WWE universe would go batshit crazy, and it'd be fun to see. But I guess we'll see when it happens.
You want to give me one more before we keep it?
Girl, I'm so annoying. I'm sorry, everyone.